When the CEO of North America's largest installation resource company wanted to get a better idea of how his employees were doing, he set out to create Rhonda, an AI-powered digital persona that could check in with them and monitor employee satisfaction. Now he's taking the SaaS solution to market in hope other companies can use it to check in with their employees and improve company culture. We'll explore how Rhonda came to be next on Techopia Live. Hello and welcome to Techopia Live. I'm Sherry Ask with the Ottawa Business Journal. And joining me today is Rudi Asseer, the CEO of IMI People and the creator of Rhonda. Rudi, thank you for joining me and welcome to Techopia Live.
Thank you for having me, Sherry.
So on Techopia Live, we normally start with the elevator pitch, and I would ask people, tell me about blank, what is it? But in this case, I guess it might be more appropriate to say, tell me about Rhonda, who is it? And
Right.
What is your elevator pitch for Rhonda?
No, for sure. I mean, simply put, Rhonda's an employee engagement tool. It's driven by AI. We're in the middle of this great resignation sort of area going on right now, where more and more employees are just constantly feeling disconnected with their organization. So we thought it'd be really interesting to put some technology together to try and help and provide a better experience for people with the companies that they're working with, and really provide managers with data as to how are our people doing, right? And what we focus on a lot is around the sentiment analysis. So we're in constant communication with workforces across the world. We're simply asking them, look, on a scale of 1 to 5, how's your week going? And that information is so key to us, and we're able to triage it for those that are, doing great and everything seems to be in line, to those that, might have an issue. And it's something as simple as, just providing people with that button they can press and their voice can be heard. And given the environment, I think that we're in, Sherry, I mean, it's so obvious that everyone is all over the place. There's a lot of mixed information everywhere. People are working remote, people are modified. There's all this change going on. And managers are just having such a hard time engaging with their workforce. So we hope with the Rhonda platform and solution that it finally gives people an opportunity to sort of really communicate how they're doing and start that crucial conversation around performance improvements or areas of concern and things like that. So simply put, the elevator pitch is we're an experiential platform. We want to really engage with workforces around the world and help them feel more connected to their enterprise or employer.
Yeah, I think you've explained really well the need for it now. But to back up a bit, 5 or so years ago, what gave you the idea for Rhonda originally?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I joined this organization 5 years ago as a CEO for a company called IMI, which is where I am now. And it's such an interesting organization. I mean, they had a fragmented workforce all across North America at the time. And it was so challenging to try to get a better understanding of who are our resources, what skills do they have, are they truly happy? And I'm talking, we have thousands of employees. So we needed to come up with something that had high impact and at scale. And with the Rhonda solution that came together, it was really a simple opportunity to say, okay, let's reach out to the workforce and start having these conversations and say, look, on a scale of 1 to 5, how are you doing? And the data that came in was very interesting. I certainly won't sugarcoat it and say, oh, it was all rainbows and unicorns. There were some really upset people. And so as a new leader in the organization, I had a duty and a responsibility to start triaging through some of this information and really trying to get to the core of, what was some of the discontent. Some people felt, well, I'm not moving in the company. I'm not progressing at a pace I thought I would be. I don't like the roles that I'm doing. Standard things that are really not unique to, a lot of other organizations. But what's unique to us is we actually had those conversations. So with Rhonda, I was able to converse with thousands of workers all over the world, essentially, and really start triaging these sets. And, also more importantly, cataloging their skill sets and their strengths, and really making sure that they're providing a tremendous amount of value to the organization and being happy. So it's really just that engagement.
Yeah. How did you know that Rhonda helped improve employee culture? Or is there a specific example, I guess, that you have that you were able to use the data for, or a measurement that came back?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the boring stuff is the statistics. I mean, some people love the data, don't get me wrong, but the data clearly demonstrated an increase in culture performance by, I think it was 20% initially, which is fantastic. What does that mean? What it means is that, we were to benchmark culture immediately. So we were able to go out and say, look, let's take all these data sets, 2,000 plus employees, where are we averaging? And we are averaging just below, just about 3.1, 3.2 out of 5, if we were to use that as a reference. And so we said, okay, so what are we going to do to make that a 3.5 or a 4? What type of behaviors does the organization have to do to start really moving the needle in, a better direction, let's say? So by simply having those conversations, the scores started to change immediately, because over the following weeks, people were saying, well, IMI really does care. IMI really does listen. IMI is really engaged with this workforce. So we started to see the shift in the culture happen real time. So data aside, people started talking about, well, IMI is one of the greatest places to work. I love working at IMI. I enjoy this Rhonda technology that I have, because normally I wouldn't be comfortable raising my hand and saying, hey, I don't feel the greatest. And I don't know why, but more and more organizations today are tasked to perform at a world-class level. But a lot of us still continue to use these archaic management structures, quarterly reviews, or in some organizations, oh, well, we'll do an annual review. Really? I mean, can you imagine, Sherry, a world-class sports team, right? And they get off the ice or the basketball court or whatever it is they're into, and the coach says, let's not talk about this game until the season's over. However, organizations are expected to perform at a world-class level, but they operate at an archaic structure, with an archaic structure. So we're really trying to pivot that. And engagement for me is so important to every single employee that works within our organization. And that was really the fuel behind it. I wanted to get engaged. I want to get a better understanding of, who the people we have and who they are and what they're doing and their preferences, and really start building roadmaps to success and aligning them to where they want to be. And for sure, there were some challenges, and I'm sure we'll get into that.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you about the challenges, but as well, how did you know? Because what's neat about this story is it started internally. You got to test it. You got to work out some of those challenges, and then what made you decide it was ready to take to market?
Yeah, I mean, bringing the solution, the platform to market was really just a product of the environment. So I'm really passionate about the technology. I love change management. I love digital transformation. It's my core set of what I do. And when I'm on an assignment and working with organizations, I really try to bring out the maximum value out of that company in a very unique experience. So I had been communicating this Rhonda messaging for a long time, and say, look, there's a better way to do things. There's certainly technology that's available out there that you can leverage, and you can pull together a stack and put something together that works. And it really drove, out of these conversations, my community of peers and different business leaders in the area started looking at this and saying, hey, I'm really curious about what it is that you're saying, which is exciting. I was at a fantastic conference a couple of years ago. I was invited with Ernst & Young on the Strategic Growth Summit. And Chuck Robbins, CEO of Cisco, was one of the speakers there, and I had the opportunity to talk with him after. And I said, "Listen, I got an experiential software deck that's driven by AI. I think it can really make an impact." And immediately he said, "We need to talk." And obviously, confidentially, we're having some kind of discussions in the background, but it's just instant. Business leaders get it. If you genuinely care about your culture and you want to get further engaged into what makes the organization tick, this is by far the easiest platform for you to deploy.
Yeah, absolutely. Rudi, I just want to take a second, because we've been talking about building relationships, to share a message from one of the supporters of Techopia Live.
Yes.
One of the resources that many local tech firms are turning to is the University of Ottawa's Faculty of Engineering, which is one of the supporters of Techopia Live. And there's an opportunity for local companies to solve technical challenges through research partnerships at the University of Ottawa. The faculty's researchers are focused on applying their expertise to tackle real-world problems and are keen to work with businesses to bring these solutions to market. So these collaborations can unlock funding opportunities as well as lead to grants for hiring PhD students. Companies can also access labs, specific equipment, and gain access to world-leading researchers. And you can learn more about the opportunities available to local firms at engineering.uottawa.ca.
Oh, that's great. No plug there, Sherry, but I'm sure, as you know, I'm an alumni from the University of Ottawa, and I just have the utmost respect for that institution. They produce some incredible talent, over the years, and I've had the opportunity to interface with all sorts, and I certainly know the Ottawa business community has as well. And it's a fantastic program, and that's great. I love it.
That's wonderful. It's a wonderful personal note as well.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to what you were saying about the excitement that you were hearing, when you tell leaders about this tool and the feedback you got right away. Do people mind at all that it is a bot that is messaging them? I know Rhonda has a name and she's personal, but do people mind that it's a bot and not their manager or not an HR person messaging them?
Yeah, I mean, the techies out there will call it a bot all day. It's a line of code. It performs a function. The algorithm is relatively simple. I mean, it's a very elegant algorithm that we've put together. And because it's so simple, it has so much impact. But, we really put a lot of research into creating a digital persona. And we felt that, individuals, if you somewhat try to humanize the experience, it just makes it that much more palatable to the individual experiencing the technology. And that was really from the core of the drawing room. When we sat down together and said, look, we're going to build this solution. How do we make this, how do we humanize it, but not try to be cheeky and do all of these different things? So Rhonda came out of the Beach Boys, help me, Rhonda. And we just wanted to create that lifeline to, all the men and women we have in the organization so that they have access to a resource that can triage and help them out. But certainly the data, I mean, it's a big thing. And some people are comfortable communicating with technology. And we talked about challenges a little bit earlier. I mean, I would say this is challenge number one. Right? How do you get a large workforce to now engage with technology? Wow. Well, you need to understand your workforce, number one, and you need to really build a clear communication strategy in advance of launching your solution, product, or ideas. And I think that's a basic business. I feel that's a basic business principle. Communication is so key. So we went out and said, look, we're creating this thing. This is what it's going to do. This is how it's going to work. And this hopefully will really help you in what it is that you're trying to do and provide you with a great experience. So the message was set, the standard was established before we even launched the solution. So we managed it through that and through education and really trying to bring people together and manage tough topics like data security, right? I mean, that always comes up.
How do you handle, I guess, those tough topics? Because even say you get buy-in for Rhonda and people accept it, I think there still has to be like a manager on the other end, or there has to be a human response to the data, correct? At some point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the magic sauce is the triaging. I mean, our solution provides a very computated set, right? So you tell it what to do and it does it. Where the success of the victories come in is the human interaction with that data to now translate that into action. As an example, we had an individual who was constantly a 1 and a 2 all the time. And I spoke with the manager and I said, okay, so what are you going to do about it? Right? I mean, that's the purpose of management, is try to interact with your workforce. And I said, what can you do? And he said, I didn't even know. I says, okay, well, now let's have some conversations. So they started having conversations with it, and the solution was relatively simple in nature. But sometimes you get lost in large organizations, right? and they were able to augment that score now where that individual's a happy, 3.5, 4. I don't think that person will ever be a 5. And you've got those in companies who are just like, listen, I'm, cool and easy. I don't want to go too wild. So, that's where that came from. And then we've had other situations where a specific individual was always scoring a low, and the manager said, I don't know what to do. And then we have some difficult, crucial conversations, right? If someone has a certain level of discontent in whatever it is that they're doing, if it's work or personal, and you can't fix that problem, then maybe it's time to look in the mirror and say, okay, well, this environment isn't right for you. And, we've had to have those crucial conversations, right? We genuinely want our people to be happy. We generally want our people to provide as much value as they can and augment and enhance the experience of IMI. But if, they're just miserable and not happy people, then we have to have those tough conversations, right? For me, it's always two things. It's number one, what is your technical contribution to the organization, which is important. And number two, what is your cultural contribution to the organization? And I don't care in my world with what we do. I mean, we are a people company. We are rooted in the people business. I don't care if you're wicked smart, but if you're a jerk, you don't have a place for us with this organization, and that's how we drive a positive culture environment.
So let's talk about taking this to other companies, because it was created internally. Now it's being offered to others. What are the challenges of the phase you're in right now? I know you mentioned, getting buy-in for the algorithm. You mentioned privacy, data. What are the big challenges you're seeing as you try to make this work for other companies?
Well, it's a push-pull effect. So most of the business leaders that I communicate love it, right? Which is typical, C-suite type of attitude. This is great, let's do it. But really, in an organization, you got to go a few layers down and get buy-in at that level. And I never love to, push anything, any agendas on anyone. I mean, it's got to be a collaborative process, and it's got to make sense for that organization. And I don't think Rhonda is the solution for all. It's a solution for an organization that's looking to change and is looking to get further engaged with their people. And there may be organizations out there that said, you know what, we don't care. That's fine. We're not interested in this stuff. And that's totally, totally normal. So it's getting proper alignment between HR, IT, and the C-suite. So everyone has this common goal together to say, hey, we're going to go ahead with the Rhonda team and the offering that we've put together to improve and enhance our company. And if we have that, then it's literally a slam dunk. Then it's no issue at all. We have these great collaborative meetings and we launch it. We work on awesome messaging. How are we going to launch your digital persona for company X, Y, or Z? And all of these different types of things. I mean, it's just an amazing, amazing process. But if there's resistance at the execution level, then you're going to have a hard time. I mean, business leaders are like, hey, this is great. I want to do this. But you have to have your whole team on board.
Yeah, I love that recognition that, the C-suite will be on board, but you have to go a few levels lower to make sure that employees are willing to engage with it and are willing to pick it up. Where do you want to see things go? I know you guys only just recently went, so it's now publicly available. Can you tell us how many companies are using this right now besides IMI and where it might go in the future?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's exciting. We've been talking about, and oh my God, so many lessons on this one too. Launching software is not easy. This is typical C-suite stuff, right? Where I'm like, hey, let's do this. And they're like, wow, Rudi, there's a lot of elements. I mean, something as simple as how do you want to transact, from a monetary standpoint? I'm like, I don't know. I have a credit card, something, do we do a Shopify plugin? What do we do, right? And they're like, no, you got to create an environment, and then the software has to be able to create its unique environment for whoever's utilizing it. And then there's data security and everything. So we're super fortunate that we were able to partner with Microsoft Azure to provide world-class data encryption and security. I mean, that was right off the top, one of our major things, but you learn a lot of these things. So where do we go from here? What's sort of my vision, expectations on the Rhonda commercialization initiative? It's just to make it accessible and easy. I think, great success is really in something that's, makes it simple, right? You should be able to go to rhonda.ai, browse the site, take a look, and just click it and try it. That's all it is. And I feel strongly that it'll be viral. And I've sat in a lot of meetings over the past year with all sorts of business consultants and managers and everyone. And you need to hire a great big sales team and all these things. And there's so many stories of organizations that just go at it the wrong way. And if it's not natural, and if it doesn't make sense, then you don't need this horsepower behind you. I mean, why try to convert somebody? It's just too much work. So if they genuinely want to, make their company a better place and further engage with it, that's the way to go.
Does IMI have the capacity to scale it up and offer it? Like you say, if it goes viral, do you have the capacity to adapt it to that many business clients, however that may be?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're scaling what I call in a responsible fashion. So, you build it, they will come. Yeah, that works to some extent. But you have to be very careful, right? And you got to scale responsibly. And what I mean by that is managing your financial drivers, your internal controls, and making sure that you're moving at the right pace as things develop. And you got to make sure that your stack is prepared to grow as well. So, having great partners around our technology, even just the Ernst & Young team from the financial side and auditing and everything we're doing. So we're running at a fully compliant level so that we can grow. We have access to capital, working with Microsoft Azure and their team is fantastic. Working with Allison PR over in the US as well is incredible to really make sure we're tuning our message so that it's clear and concise to the marketplace is super key. So no, we're prepared to scale. And we can definitely do that. The technology is there. The platform was built by some great engineers in Ottawa, which I'm really proud of, to be a Canadian company that's operating some really cool tech down there. And I mean, we have so many great resources in Ottawa. It's tough. All my friends that are, been on your show before and different recipients of things, we all battle for the same resources. And but we love the ecosystem. Ottawa is such a great town, and there's so much opportunity for young talent coming out of programs such as Ottawa U and different areas to really start to craft their skill and exercise it and try it. And experiential AI is where we're at, specifically with this portfolio of all the companies that I manage, and it's exciting. It's really exciting. Simply.
Yeah, well, it sounds exciting. It's great to hear you talk about it. Is there anything else you want to say or let people know about the tool or about the industry or about the market before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked a lot about digital transformation for organizations. I think that if an organization is looking to pivot and really reset kind of where they're at and go through sort of a 2.0 exercise. It's really about communication and building the team and start identifying, what is it, who do we want to be and how do we get there and what technology can we leverage to help us drive there. And, I hope through our conversation today that, someone out there is looking at it and saying, hey, this is kind of cool. I'd love to sample our organization to see where we're sitting from a culture standpoint and really start providing now a more unique digital experience to their organization, which is exciting. And selfishly on our side, we're hiring. My biggest challenge, Sherry, is people. I need people all day, and we're constantly looking for developers and all sorts of designers and things inside to come and help build this great program that we've put together, and we're always open to receive, and so it's amazing.
Well, I think it might help you out that employees who do come to work for you, they'll know that they'll have Rhonda on their side.
Right.
I love the "Help Me Rhonda" reference from the Beach Boys that you said that's where the name came from. Very cool.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Rudi. It was wonderful to talk with you today and hear about how this came to be. Good luck. We'll be keeping an eye on it for sure.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sherry, and thank you to the Ottawa Business Journal and everything you guys do to the community. I've always been a great supporter of you guys and everything you're putting together. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm also excited. I got an email yesterday. The 40 under 40 nominations are coming out again, so hopefully a lot of people can get some talent in there and recognize the folks that are building great companies in our community.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
And before we go, I just want to take a moment to share and thank our sponsors, without whom this show would not be possible. Number Crunch, offering virtualized CFO services for SaaS companies. Hurley Robertson, Hill and McDougall, a leader in business and tech law. TD Bank, with specialized programs for tech firms. The University of Ottawa Faculty of Engineering, creating the next generation of technical talent. Techopia is not just a great show. We are also online with new articles daily at obj.ca/Techopia. If you are on Facebook or Twitter, you can follow us. Our handle is @TechopiaOTT. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like button, or you can leave a comment down below. And that is it for this episode of Techopia Live. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back soon with another episode of Techopia Live.